Welcome to T and XP, a couple's cozy gaming podcast.
We're feeling like a bonus episode, and we hope you are too.
My name's Alexander.
And I'm Erin.
For today's bonus episode, we'll be doing three of a kind, with a theme of silly, short co-op games. There's a lot of games we want to discuss, but they might not make it to having a standalone episode, because they might not have the narrative or the content we generally try to discuss on T and XP.
And why silly two players, you might ask? Well, because this is a couple's cozy gaming podcast, and gaming together has always been part of our gaming experience, so we want to share that with you. Let's get into it.
So our first game in this category is Biped, developed by Next Studios and released in 2020. In Biped, you play as a pair of two-legged robots, which each have independently controlled legs. You'll use the left stick of your controller to move one leg, and the right stick to control the other. Together, you traverse treacherous landscapes such as sawmills, ruins, and river rapids. To get through each level, you're generally trying to get timing right, coordinate your clumsy movements to get the correct robot to place the correct leg somewhere, or doing trustful exercises, where you have to rely on the other player to trigger certain platforms or traps.
But first, you have to figure out how to walk. It's a good example of a silly two-player game because the deliberately clumsy controls make it comedic, and it falls on the side of being funny, not frustrating. You instantly respawn if you fall off a ledge, but there are tricky timing and coordination moments. We recommend it because the unusual controls are a lot of fun and will keep you laughing all the way through.
It's got some great comic moments. My favourite was our robots waddling like frantic little toddlers whenever we panicked and tried to rattle off the steps as quickly as possible.
Yeah, waddling was easier than trying to take individual steps. Or gliding smoothly over the edge.
Biped is worth playing because it's a game you can do in a few hours, and the puzzles are just hard enough to pose a challenge without ever growing frustrating. You can also put it down and pick it up without worrying that you're going to lose any narrative threads. If you like the teamwork in Biped, you might also like It Takes Two, which we're actually going to be covering in Season 2, and is also a two-player game. Failing that, you might also like Bokura, a two-player teammate game where you cannot look at your partner's screens, because each of you will see differing versions of reality.
It's cool, but a pixel gore warning is needed on Bokura. Any game that needs to use the word spine when discussing it will never count as cozy enough for us to actually review it in full.
Biped 2 is also out and allows for additional players. And finally, Octodad, Dadliest Catch, is a game for up to 4 players, where you play as an octopus disguised as Dad, and you split control of his 8 limbs as he tries to complete everyday tasks.
On to our second silly two-player, which is Untitled Goose Game. Maybe Geese Game. It can be played as 1 or 2 players, but we love the two-player mode. It was released in 2019 and developed by House, an Australian developer. The game received several awards, including the DICE Award for Game of the Year and the Game Developers' Choice Award for Game of the Year, among other accolades. Dan Golding was nominated for an ARIA for the music, which is a big deal in Australia. You play as a pair of geese terrorising a sleepy village, and you work together to distract, dash, and sneak through each scene.
You can pick up useful items, strategically honk to distract people, and flap your wings angrily. There's plenty of avian anarchy to get up to, but the game will give you a to-do list for each part of the village. This will generally include tasks like stealing keys, or trapping a child in a phone box, and slipping past wary shopkeepers.
Honking is a lot of fun.
It is. I encourage honking even when it has no strategic value.
Yes, but with great honk comes great responsibility. It's worth playing because it balances artiness with chaos and humour. And it's not often you get to play as the villain, but also you don't have to feel bad as a villain because you are a goose. If you like the silliness of this game, you might like House's other game, Push Me, Pull Me, which is the weirdest game of soccer you will ever play. That is all I'll say about it. And if you want to play as a chaotic, unlawful character, but still stay in the cozy gaming space, I'd also recommend Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which is a single player, and as you can probably guess by the name, is a lot of weird fun.
I can't recommend Untitled Goose Game enough. It's got so much charm and atmosphere, and it's impossible not to laugh as you watch the exasperated villagers chase after you. If you don't have a second player, don't worry. This is still a fantastic single-player game.
Out of the 3, this one probably gets the biggest giggles.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the most renowned, and with good reason.
Yeah.
Again, just a fantastic title. Do check it out if you haven't already. Finally, our third game in our silly 2-player 3-of-a-kind is Phogs. Phogs, spelled Phogs, is where you play as a stretchy, 2-ended dog which has to navigate puzzles in a fun and colourful 3D world. Set across 3 themed areas, you have to solve puzzles to navigate each level. This will involve everything from the standard stuff like grabbing levers to moving objects, to some more unique things like using your double-ended doggo as a giant stretchy hose.
It's so cute. And if you are of our particular vintage, initially it almost looks like cat dog as well.
Yeah.
You know, just how far can that thing stretch as well. So very cute.
Dog, but yeah.
Dog, yes. Dog fog. I love the sleepy time area. It's very, very cute. And it's worth playing because the co-op mechanic is a bit different. There are games where you can play as 2 parts of a connected team, like Octodad, or even the non-cozy but aptly named Chained Together, or Nintendo's Tied Together. But Phogs has a charm, cuteness, and whimsy that our other games don't have. It's also the longest of the games in our 3-of-a-kind today, taking anywhere between 8 to 12 hours to complete, depending on how much of a completionist you are.
And last but not least, I'd like to give out an honourable mention to Pikiniku in 2-player mode. It's actually a good example of a game where you will be connected together as you swing and jump in a 2-dimensional platform-style challenge. The single-player game, which has a full story, is also a lot of fun too.
That's all we have time for today, but you'll hear from us really soon as Season 2 begins before the end of January.
In the meantime, stay cozy.
Like a night in with your best friend.
Woo!
Playing 2-player co-op games.